Sun that hugs the farm and face to window through the dew. Moon is baked to morning and weaving round my hair comes the sound of laughter wafting up the stair. Near a hallowed place I know rivers flow, standing under emptiness where rippling reeds can grow. Peace can drift right through me and aching now to fly. Ooh, waking wings and birds ignite the sky. Sliver silver crystal sprig white desire. Saint Serene, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Cussing through a stoplight race I can't lose. Chatter on a desperate face and greasy daily news. Hide me and deny you in hazy noonday light, and a lust and loving to be right. Swallow brown grain of dust and fire. Through the tides of winter ring the bells of Saint Serene. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you
Good morning, it's a beautiful day. Good morning, I can make it that way. To have a good morning, all I have to say is it's a good morning, 'cause I see it that way. I woke up to cloudy skies, didn't even want to open my eyes. I pulled the covers way up and over my head. I took a breath and realized I'm so lucky to be alive. And with a smile I popped right up and said, good morning, it's a beautiful day. Good morning, I can make it that way. To have a good morning, all I have to say is it's a good morning, 'cause I see it that way. When I wake up feeling good and everything goes just as it should, it's not hard to call it a wonderful day. But even when I'm feeling down, I can easily turn it around. I just have to stop myself and say, oh, good morning, it's a beautiful day. Good morning, I can make it that way. to have a good morning. All I have to say is it's a good morning, 'cause I see it that way. It's a good morning, 'cause I create it that way. Have a wonderful morning, folks.
Good morning. My name is George Melton, and I'm your host for today's live streaming Sunday celebration service, coming to you from beautiful Palm Springs, California, on this final Sunday in February. You've been listening to Brent Huffman singing Good Morning. On behalf of your leadership council and our senior minister, Reverend Eunice Chalfant, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of our regular viewers here in Palm Springs and all of our many friends from around the country, Richard and Bill in Illinois, Terry in Seattle, Linda Ginn in Los Angeles, Stella Evans, Jenny Malloy, and Tony Suter right here in Palm Springs. No matter where you are on your spiritual path or where you might be tuned in from this morning, you are welcome here. We'd like to begin the service this morning by reciting our mission and vision statement. Please follow along with me if you would. At CSLPS, we envision a world where oneness is cultivated, unity is lived, and reverence for all life is practiced, empowering us to thrive individually and collectively. And of course, we do this through the teachings of science of mind and spirit, and the practice of unconditional love. There are a number of things for you to be aware of this week. This Wednesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m., join Reverend Eunice for our monthly visioning session. Visioning is one of the three main practices we use at our center, along with meditation and affirmative prayer. You'll find the link to this event on the pop-up page of our website, cslps.org. Come and be a part of helping to uncover the next step in the evolution of our center and the next step in the evolution of your own life. Then later that same evening at 6:30 p.m., join Reverend Vince Kiefner for Wisdom Shares and Sacred Practices as he facilitates What I Learned from the Aborigines. The theory of living by spiritual principles is well and good, but unless we live these principles, we don't receive the benefits. We can learn a great deal from an ancient tribe of people that has lived in peace, goodwill, compassion, and joy for over 50,000 years, the Aborigines of Australia. In essence, we are all on a walkabout, learning how to access the forever part of our spiritual identity, and once we find it, it can never be lost. Find out more about Australia's first people by joining Reverend Vince Kiefner on Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. for Wisdom Shares and Sacred Practices. Next up, something new. Walk with the Rev. Beginning next Sunday afternoon, join Reverend Eunice on a short walk around a beautiful park every Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. We'll be wearing masks and social distancing while we walk and chat about whatever comes to mind. Meet at the main parking lot on the Ruth Hardy Park, located at Caballeros and Tamarisk in Palm Springs. Just text Reverend Eunice at 937-671-3078 each Sunday that you want to walk, and she'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. In preparation for our eventual return to in-person services, Jeff Kingfisher is here to tell you about our new sound and streaming team. Jeff.
Hello, community. Jeff Kingfisher here, making another pitch for the CSLPS Sound and Stream Dream Team, within which teams of two will be handling live sound and live streaming from the sanctuary on Sundays when we're able to meet again. Once again, it's easy, it's not too techy, it's fun, and it will be very helpful. So I hope to hear from you. Please contact me via the email address above my head there, and we'll talk. Thank you. Namaste.
So if you're interested in being a part of Jeff's team, please contact Jeff or Margie in the office. And finally, We will wrap up our 40-day journey of leaping into freedom in the new fabulous by moving in the direction of meeting in person with a 9 a.m. outdoor Easter Sunday celebration service in the parking lot at the center. We'll also be live streaming as usual at 10:30 a.m. Just bring your mask, your Easter bonnets, and a lawn chair, maybe an umbrella. There will be plenty of room for social distancing for those of you who want to attend but might not be ready to sit with others. We will accommodate a limited number of cars behind the seating area. Because this is such a large undertaking, we'll need a number of teams to prepare for the service, everything from ushers and greeters to traffic directing and decorating the podium. We need your help to make this happen. If you're interested in helping out, please contact Margie Roth or Mitch Alcorn in the office. You can find more about the different teams and contact information by checking out our weekly e-newsletter. So in just a few minutes, our practitioner of the day, Igea Grace Angel, will be offering today's reading and invocation. Reverend Vince Kiefner is holding high watch during today's service, and then Igea Grace Angel will be back to be your host for one-on-one prayer with a practitioner in the upper room immediately after today's service. But first, this week's Share from the Heart with Lori Daigle.
Hi everyone, my name is Lori Daigle and I'm in Miami, Florida. My husband Jeff and I moved here last June and we miss everyone. We miss everyone in person. So big hug to everyone. I am a co-lead on the Community Connectors team along with Steve Ferger. And thank you, Steve, for all that you do. And I love our sweet spiritual center here for so many reasons, but mostly because we met the most beautiful beings at this center. And we are so grateful for each of you. We call you friends and you fill our hearts. So thank you so much. And today I want to share a recent demonstration that I had working with one of our beautiful, amazing practitioners, namely Mitch Alcorn. Thank you, Mitch. And I asked Mitch for prayer and treatment around easy passive income. And he so lovingly helped me reword it to easy active income, which I absolutely love. And within 1 month of Mitch praying with me, I received my first of many, I'm sure, contracts from a company who wants to use my art and design in their home decor and home furnishings. And so they sent me a contract. I said yes, and I'm so thrilled about it. So thank you again, Mitch. If you're not currently using a practitioner, they work. These principles help my life become more prosperous, more loving. We have the best friends. So if you would join me today in generously supporting this beautiful center, and that can be with your time, treasure, or talent. We all need one another, let's face it. So thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you, Laurie. It was great to see your beautiful shining face. So as we move into the heart of today's service, join me as together we find a comfortable position in the place that we're sitting, perhaps uncrossing our legs and our arms and allowing the energy of free passage through our bodies. As we take a deep collective breath together, breathing in the pure prana of spirit, allowing it to fill each cell of our body, to enliven, to activate, to evolve each cell of our body. As we breathe out and send that prana out around the world. And so as we continue to breathe consciously, we find our own rhythm. We allow our mind to quiet and to relax, our heart to open and to soften as the music takes us just a little bit deeper.
In once again to this tempo we know, deep in the body, gentle we go, and softly we hear the call as the silence between us falls. And we open a space and hold it until every heart finds a place, has its fill, and each wounded soul is healed in peace and goodwill. As the silence between us falls, and together we hear the call.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to this practitioner moment here at CSL Palm Springs. I am Ejia Grace Angel, one of the prayer practitioners here at this center, and it is my privilege to be here with you. Our reading today is taken from Brené Brown, author and professor at the University of Houston, who has studied courage, vulnerability, shame, and empathy for the past 2 decades. Here's what she says. Every reckoning starts with giving yourself permission to engage with emotion. It is paying attention, taking a deep breath, and becoming mindful of what we're feeling. What I've learned from the research and tried to put into practice in my own life sounds way simpler than it is. Give yourself permission to feel emotion. Get curious about it. Pay attention to it and practice. This work takes practice. What is more, she says, our work is to get to the place where we like ourselves and are concerned with when we judge ourselves too harshly. I don't think you can truly change for the better in a lasting, meaningful way unless it is driven by self-acceptance and self-compassion. Authenticity is a practice of consciously choosing how we want to live. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we can choose to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real. the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are. Once again, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Wow, how yummy is that? So just relaxing and becoming quiet in this moment, closing your eyes if you feel compelled to do so, and just savoring any of those words that may have resonated such that they now just leave a sweet taste. Relax and take a deep breath. And be here now. Reflecting upon these words deeper, relaxing into our hearts and just being still for a few moments. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. How lovely. Even as we come back to consciousness of our physical selves in this place, I invoke the presence of love, peace, and joy, recognizing God in all, through all, and over all is the all in all. The only thing living, moving, and having its being individualized expression is God. In us, as us, is us, right where we stand. God is the very ground of our being. As such, I just bless this day. I bless the activity moving forward throughout this day. I bless Reverend Eunice as she comes forward to speak the message today. I'm blessing the Center for Spiritual Living in Palm Springs, all churches, synagogues, temples, everywhere where truth is being taught. I give thanks for this. I give thanks for everyone in service today around the planet, and most specifically here in this center, the practitioners holding the high watch, the practitioners in the center available for prayer. How good is that? All of the ministers that serve in this community, blessing them in their service. I'm blessing our sound and technician. I'm blessing all the wizardry that goes into this opportunity for us to be together in this medium. How good it is. How good it is. How very good it is. In so knowing, I'm grateful and thanksgiving, and I'm just allowing it to be so. And I invite you all to anchor this experience with me now and forevermore by just saying together, and so it is. Namaste, friends. The divine God in me recognizes the divine God is in you. Don't forget, you can join us in the upper room immediately following the services for prayer. Just follow the link at cslps.org for the upper room, and we will see you out there. Just continue to relax and contemplate. Our services will begin shortly.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I have no eyes to see what lies ahead of me, I will be one with a vibration
where boundless joy breeds wild elation. When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I have exhausted human physicality, I will embrace my resurrection as I move through a new dimension.
So don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when to leave my body has become what's best for me, I will feel from a fresh perception what I have known since my inception.
So don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy,
so don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
when I dive into a deeper field of energy. Thank you.
Good morning, beloveds. Isn't this a glorious day? Have you been outside yet and have seen the beautiful day and the crystal clear blue sky? This is why people move to Palm Springs, I am sure. It feels so beautiful. Yeah, so it's a good day, a day to just celebrate and to rejoice in just the pure awareness of being alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Anyway, this is the consciousness that I want to welcome us all into this day, for we come together every Sunday to remember who we truly are. I love the quote from the Tibetan Book of the Dead when it says, "O nobly born, O ye of glorious origin, remember your radiant true nature. It is the essence of mind. Trust it, return to it. It is home." And so we come together every Sunday to welcome us into a greater awareness of our radiant true nature and to remind us that this is the home, this is the ground of being. Last week, we started a new theme because it I was reminding us all that we're in the midst of this very sacred moment in time, the Lenten season, which is really a transformational journey, a 40-day journey into awakening into our true radiant nature. And this period of time is more like a microcosm of our whole life journey, for we're always journeying into a greater experience of who and what we truly are. Another way of saying this is that this is a calling. A calling is our life journey. We answer the question, who have I come here to be? What is my reason for being? And we live the answer into this calling, into this life. And so the theme for this sacred journey, this 40-day experience of awakening, is what I'm calling leap into freedom of the new fabulous. So leap into freedom of the new fabulous. And last week we started that journey anchoring in faith and clarity and wisdom. But this whole idea of it being a calling really puts it more into a context that we are always answering the call to be in our lifetime. And when we can really understand the various aspects of the calling in this short, compact period, this parenthesis of eternity that Goldsmith calls it, this 40-day experience, it allows us to really actively participate in our journey of awakening. In his book, Greg Lavoie, his book's called The Calling, Finding and Following Our Authentic Life. He said that often we mix up our calling with the work or the job we do in the world. And really, it is not about the doingness. It is about the beingness. It is about being awake and aware of this ongoing practice of awakening, being aware. He calls it having an ongoing dialogue with our inner self, our higher wisdom self, and really listening in full awareness to that inner guidance, the higher wisdom that is always revealing guidance and direction for our lives. So this whole idea of the calling is what we want to become so familiar with in this 40-day period that we live the rest of our lives with conscious awareness to living in full alert, awake, aware presence of our highest calling, to be what we have been called to be here now and forevermore. So a calling, bottom line, answers the question, who have I come here to be and what matters most? And so the journey of awakening to our highest calling is always eternal. It is infinite. It is always unfolding. Why? Because life is eternal. Life is infinite. Life is always unfolding. There is no destination points in this ever increasing journey of awakening. Whether we are 6 or 106 years old, we are always called to be what God has created us to be, our own true radiant nature. And we are always growing into the awareness of that nature. We think we have already arrived, only to find out it's the starting point of the next deepening. And so to hold that concept is to live the beginner's mind. It is to always be fresh and new and responsive and bringing in the fullness of our being into every moment. And so we are entering into the next phase of our journey during this 40-day period. I think it's also interesting that during this 40-day period, we are seeing a radically dropping number of viruses and ramping up of vaccinations, and we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's why I'm so excited for our grand finale of the 40-day journey in having an outdoor parking lot Easter Sunday service. I cannot wait. So that is just a microcosm of this journey of awakening that we are called to be. And we're calling that journey of awakening Leap into the freedom of the new fabulous. That's what we're calling it. We started out the journey by anchoring with the foundation of faith, and that we have been created with two things: the freedom of choice and the capacity to direct and invest our faith in a particular way. Brene Brown says faith is a place of mystery, where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of our fears of uncertainty. So faith is the foundation upon which we journey forth. Faith. Today's message is about leaping into freedom through awareness, acceptance, and authenticity. Leap into freedom through awareness, acceptance, and authenticity. And so let's begin with awareness. Awareness is having the perception of where we are internally and externally at every moment of time. We are awake, aware, and perceiving how we feel inside and how we're responding outside. To do that, we have to be here now. We have to be fully present. We have to be awake and aware. In other words, not live in our heads. And so being in a feeling of wakefulness, we answer the question, who am I? By saying, I am. I am. And so I am can sometimes designate, I am tired, I am unworthy, I am loved, I am unloved. Those are internal indicators of where we are in consciousness, how aware we are of our inner realm. We can say, I am poor, or I am busy, or I am surrounded by people. Those are indicators of where we are externally. But all the while, we are the I am presence. One of my favorite metaphysicians, who was a contemporary of Ernest Holmes, is Neville Goddard. And I think I've read everything Neville has ever written. He's an absolutist. He has an amazing ability to be very succinct in his description. And he says this about the I am awareness. You know, the Bible will say, I am that I am, when Moses asked God who he was, who he should say God is, and God says, I am that I am. That is awareness. That is pure awareness. That's why in another passage we hear, peace, be still, and know that I am God. So God is the pure awareness of being. And this is what Neville says. He says, I am is a feeling of permanent awareness. The very center of consciousness is the feeling of I am. It is I am's concept of itself that determines the form and scenery of its existence at every point in time. Isn't that powerful? I love that. Another passage that Neville says is man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of awareness. Woo! Because our state of awareness determines and is causative to all that we experience. So we are called to be awake, aware, and alert in every moment of the day so that we can fully participate. Now, if you're like me and most of humanity, we go throughout life always in our heads, thinking about our identity is what we're thinking at the moment of time. We live in our heads. A lot of times we're not even in touch with how we're feeling or where we are. You know, I've been known to bump into things because I'm so lost in my thoughts. Am I the only one? I hope not. So here is an Eastern parable, a Hindu parable, I think. And it talks about this whole idea of not being lost in your thoughts. And it's a story told by Krishnamurti, who is one of the wonderful ancient sages who's written a lot of work. He's not that ancient. I mean, he's pretty current. But anyway, the story goes, one day Krishnamurti, the world-famous spiritual teacher, was traveling by car to a hill station in the Himalayas. Krishnamurti was sitting in the front seat next to the driver. And in the back seat, two of his students were discussing lofty topics such as self-knowledge and awareness. As the car climbed steadily past beautiful waterfalls and steep gorges and hills covered with flowers, suddenly the backseat philosophers felt a jolt, but they paid it no attention and returned to their lively conversation. A few seconds later, Krishnamurti asked them what they were discussing. Awareness, they answered. Well, did you notice what just happened? He asked quizzically. No. What? We knocked down a goat, he said. Did you not see it? No. And you were discussing awareness? Ooh, how often do we go through life hitting walls or stepping on someone's foot and not having the awareness because we're not here now, we're not present. So you can see as the first major step of our journey of awakening is that we have to orient ourselves both internally and externally in the here and now. In other words, we have to be awake, alert, present in our awareness. Another one of my favorite quotes by Neville is, a person automatically expresses that which he is conscious of being, which tells me no matter where we find ourselves, we may be in the midst of crisis or illness or whatever, we are always at choice. Am I aware right now of where I am, or is there a greater possibility? And this is the point where we can say, look up, be identified with the great expansive field of possibilities, and choose how we want to feel, where we want to be in consciousness, and live from that consciousness. And so when I do that, I can literally and alchemically transmute what I'm experiencing right here, right now, into a greater possibility. Whether it is more health, more wealth, more happiness, a deeper spiritual awakening, or awareness, whatever that is, I can open up to a new possibility just by becoming aware that I am in the midst of an infinite field that is seeking that divine download. It just is waiting for me to open up my awareness. And so awareness is the vehicle of creation and manifestation. Remembering that God in the beginning said, "Let there be light," and light appeared. "Let there be the seas," and seas appeared. "Let there be the earth," and earth appeared. It's detailed in Genesis. We create through the conscious awareness of being or desiring or having that aspect of the infinite field of possibilities come through our beingness into form. That's what the 28-day Faith Lift series that I did for the last 3 times was all about. Looking up, catching a new possibility, becoming aware of it. That is my life. That is my desire in bringing it forth through that way. So isn't that a powerful motivation to do our daily practice? Because our daily meditation, our prayers, our spiritual reading grounds us into the here and now, into our being awake, aware, alert, present. And that is motivation, for me anyway. So in our ongoing expansion of awareness, we move into an awareness sometimes of who we're not, or some of our flaws. We become self-critical in our awareness. We start to see ourselves in comparison, because sometimes that awareness causes us to see in contrast and to judge. And when we do that, it's easy for us to move into that self-judgment, criticism. And so the second aspect is from awareness is acceptance. And acceptance is simply seeing and experiencing the way things are. It is what it is. It is what it is. And acceptance is not approval. It is not consent. It is not condoning. It is not sanctioning or even liking the way it is. It's simply acknowledging it is what it is, and what it is what it is. So acceptance is the opposite of judgment or criticism. And this leads us to the second aspect, which is self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is complete acceptance of oneself. All the things that we like and all the things that we don't like. All the beautiful aspects and all the flaws. For there's no good or bad in the mind of God. There's no big or small in the mind of God. It is all divine expression. But when we accept all of us and all of our essence, it's easier for us to accept others. When we live in that place of acceptance, it allows us to live free of resistance and struggle and pushing back. All those things are quicksand in which we allow ourselves to sink deeper and deeper. So you accept your full self, all the mistakes and all the wins. It gives you that place of freedom, free to now choose a new course of action. Self-acceptance allows us to really go forth in a brand new way because we are free of resisting or fighting against. And we have so much more energy to devote in creating the new. That's why in the opening reading, Brene Brown said this. She says, "I don't think you can truly change for the better in a lasting, meaningful way unless it is driven by self-acceptance and self-compassion. And so self-acceptance empowers us to be authentic because we don't exclude any aspects from ourselves. We don't hide in shame any aspects of our beingness. We say, this is the way it is. Within me, this is what I've experienced. And we know that we are an ongoing experience of expression. We are an ongoing creative expression in life itself. We are always journeying into our greatest yet to be. We are a work in progress, in process, and in progress. We are always unfolding and manifesting and revealing who and what we truly are. It is our calling. It is our reason for being. We are journeying infinitely in awareness and acceptance and in love and in peace and in harmony and all the good. So acceptance is a really, really powerful place to be. And acceptance always leads us into authenticity. So we've now said awareness, acceptance, and the last aspect is authenticity. When we really accept who we are, we identify with ourselves as being a verb and not a noun. We are identifying ourselves with being in the beginner's mind and unfolding and creating and expressing and being who we truly are. We don't have to be a carbon copy of who we think we should be. We don't have to be anything other than who we truly are, because who we truly are is so much more vast than words can describe, or we're more than a concept. We're more than a fixed object. We are a state of awareness, a state of awakening. We are beings. We are beings. And so there is a final story about this that I think is very humorous. It's about a mistaken identity. And I think I might have used it my first year when I came to Palm Springs almost 4 years ago. But I love it. It brings a smile to my lips, and it's so funny. But it is about this mistaken identity. And the story goes that Jesus and Moses were on a golf course playing golf. And the two great master teachers teed up for a long hole when Jesus unexpectedly pulls out a 7-iron. Jesus, it's a long hole, says Moses. You'll never make it with a 7-iron. Better use a driver. Jesus smiles and replies, Arnold Palmer does it. When the ball sails into the water hazard, Moses generously volunteers to shag it. Approaching the lake, he parts the water, picks out the ball, then returns it back to Jesus, who immediately tees it up again and takes out the 7-iron. Jesus, you already tried that iron, Moses admonishes. Trust me, the hole is too long. Use the driver. Arnold Palmer does it, Jesus says, who hits the ball once again into the same water hazard. This time, however, Jesus decides to shag the ball himself. Meanwhile, the next foursome of players who have caught up from behind look on in astonishment as Jesus approaches the hazard, walks on the water, and picks out the ball. Who does he think he is? Says one of the men. Jesus Christ? No, answers Moses sadly. Unfortunately, he thinks he's Arnold Palmer. Isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. So authenticity is feeling comfortable in our own skin. It is being authentic to who we are in this moment in time, always knowing that we are a work in progress, a work in process, that we are always unfolding and being our own radiant true nature. My late husband always says, "This is it, and I am happy." So when he talks about himself, he always says, "This is it, and I am happy." He chooses happiness no matter what's happening in his life, because he knew, he's passed on now. He's still doing this, I think. He knew he was a work in process. So authenticity and integrity are one and the same. We bring our whole bodies, mind, spirit, our whole essence to each moment, knowing that we do the best we can, that our task at hand is to be awake, aware, accepting of ourselves, and authentic to who and what we truly are. And this is the second leg of our 40-day journey. Let us pray. So, Father, Mother, God, and Infinite Spirit, how good it is to know that we sense and move and have our beingness in this precise moment of now, this eternal moment of now. I'm so grateful for this metaphor called the journey into freedom of the new fabulous. I'm grateful for this awakening, this calling to be our true authentic selves. I'm grateful for this short parenthesis in eternity, this moment in time where we can really truly see what life is unfolding through us as we journey every moment and every day into every month and every month into every year. For our journey is a journey of awakening. It is a journey of freedom. We are free to choose, and we are free to invest our faith in the direction we choose. So journeying well, we go forth into our respective lives, feeling awake, alert, aware, accepting and loving ourselves, for life is good. It's very, very good, and all is truly well. For this journey, we are grateful. I release this word, I let it be so now, and together we affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Eunice, and thank you to all of you who tuned into our service today. We invite you to join practitioner Igia Grace Angel for private prayer for healing and revealing your highest good immediately after this service on Zoom. And please consider volunteering for one of our Easter Sunday service teams. Your help is needed to make this all happen. We'd like to end the service today with our closing affirmation. I invite you to read along with me at home. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I live in the consciousness of peace. I can never be separate from my source. I am living love. Hallelujah. Amen. So we leave you today with a brand new song from our own Jeff Kingfisher titled, The Truth of Love. Jeff has added the lyrics into the video so you can now sing along with him at home. From all of us here at the center to all of you at home, we see you, we honored you, and we look forward to being with you in person again in the very near future. Namaste.
Wings are on the wind, rivers roll along, feet are walking, voices talking in one big joyful song. I feel myself a blossom on a wild and glorious tree, blessed beyond believing to share this mystery. Always and forever, we all rise together to simply be, thankfully, the wonders that we are. Soon we'll meet again, knowing until then we are one light shining in the truth of love. Love makes you lovely. Love makes you real. Love is everything, and love is what we feel. And if sometimes we're lonely, we never are alone. Let no mind put asunder this truth that's in our bones. Always and forever, we all rise together to simply be, thankfully, the wonders that we are. Soon we'll meet again, knowing until then we are one light shining in the truth of love. We are one light shining in the truth of love.
À la claire fontaine, m'en allant promener, j'ai trouvé l'eau si belle que je m'y suis baignée.
Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai.
Sous les feuilles d'un chêne, je me suis fait sécher. Sur la plus haute branche, un rossignol chantait.
Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai.
Chante, rossignol, chante, toi qui as le cœur gai. Tu as le cœur à rire, moi je l'ai à pleurer.
Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai.
J'ai perdu mon ami sans l'avoir mérité, pour un bouquet de roses que je lui refusais.
Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai.
Je voudrais que la rose fût encore au rosier, et que mon doux ami fût encore à